baskets. I made money, and I taught a good number of my age mates and younger age mates how to weave those baskets. Nobody taught me. I think it was knowledge given me by God.
Exactly.
Yeah, that I did.
So, talking about your Sase, let's go to your secondary education. You trekked from Fontaine to Boya. To Sopo?
No, not to Sopo.
Okay.
I trekked from Fontaine to Tale.
Okay.
Vehicles used to come from Kumba.
Yes.
On a certain day, on certain days
I heard this
week.
one way.
Yeah, it was a one-way road. They used to come from Kumba on certain days of the week.
Okay.
Sleep. The drivers would sleep and carry people going to Kumba and beyond. The following day.
I see.
Yes. The roads were so narrow that two vehicles could not come and bypass each other. No, it wasn't that possible. I can call the roads now.
Yes.
There were only tracks that vehicles managed to use
to pass through. So that's how you arrived Kumba from Tale?
Of course.
Okay. And from Kumba, how did you finally go to Boya? Then
from Kumba, I went down to Miuka, where a good number of our village people were resident. They were farmers.
Okay. And you knew some of them?
Did I need to? Well, I had my uncles there.
Yes.
Maternal and paternal uncles.
Okay.
Back at Miuka. They were resident there and they were farmers.
That's good. So they welcomed you?
Of course.
Nice. And from there you went to Sase?
Yes, that's where I used to spend my holidays. My short holidays.
So that's important. So you had families around.
No, I had
that supported your holidays.
Yeah. And since I had started working back from the village,
yes,
I used to go with them to their farms. Then they were planting bananas, not cocoa now, no. Okay. Not coffee, bananas.
I see.
All of them had banana farms. And there were companies from abroad that used to come and buy bananas.
Okay, from them.
Yes, from them. Right inside the farms.
Interesting.
And send their vehicles to go carry. Yeah.
So in Sase College, tell me about this. Do you remember the principal then? I know they were Mid-Hill missionaries.
They were.
Okay.
The first principal we had in Sase then was, oh dear, I forget his name. Wait, just give me a minute.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Faradamin.
Oh, okay.
That was his name.
I see. You still have a picture of him?
Of course.
Can you please tell us how he was?
Oh, he was a tall, hefty person. Yeah.
Interesting. So he was your principal?
He was our first principal.
Okay.
Then, after 2 years.
So we are talking of 1962 to 1964. We had his father. Mm-hmm. Then after that, he was changed.
Yes.
Okay.
He had to. The Catholic mission wanted to open a school, a grade 2 teachers college.
Okay.
At Sopo.
Oh.
They moved him to Sopo.
I see.
And from Sopo, they moved him to Motengene, where they took the grade 2 teachers college.
Okay.
At the time.
Interesting.
And that was the only one in southern Cameroon at the time.
What an honor to speak with a sovereign.
He's a sovereign.
Are you a someone of the 1962 class batch, if I may ask?
Of course.
Wow. What an honor. I've discovered a lot from you. So, Sase College, could you, in a nutshell, how was life in Sase then? School, you lived in dormitories?
Of course.
How was it?
We lived in dormitory. During our time, you had St. Martin's dormitory, St. Christopher's dormitory, St. Aquinas dormitory, and St. Augustine's dormitory. You also had children who wanted to become priests, who had their own, I would would say, their own compound after school.
The seminary.
We met only in the classrooms.
Okay.
After school, they would go to the seminary, which was headed at that time by one father. They called him Father Tall.
Okay. Very famous Mihil missionary.
Yeah.
Father Tall.
Father Tall.
Okay.
They were there in the seminary.
Yes.
After classes, we never met
them.
We never met them until the following morning.
Wow. So they're a very special class of people.
Yes, because they were being taught other things concerning religion that the rest of the other
did not need.
Did not need.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember some of them who became priests?
A number of them.
Okay, I know Bishop Lisinge went through that same school.
But I didn't even meet Bishop Lisinge.
Okay.
We were in Sase when Bishop Lisinge was in Enugu at the time.
Good, correct, because it was only in 1966.
Yeah. He was already in Enugu when he went to Sase.
Interesting. So in Sase.
Bishop Lisinge.
Yes.
Yes. And other ones.
Okay.
Even some who were our classmates went to Enugu but never completed.
Okay.
One from the class ahead of us
Yes.
completed Bishop Bushu.
Oh.
Emmanuel Bushu.
Okay, so you knew Bushu when you were in
He
Sase.
was a class ahead of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know he's celebrating his 50th anniversary as a priest
priest
on the 6th of January.
That I do
It has
not
been
know.
announced last week by the Bishop of Boya.
Okay.
So many people are writing books about him because he's now the emeritus of Boya Diocese. So I'm so impressed you know him.
He was the class ahead of me in Sase.
Could you describe him in a nutshell?
They lived, I would say, a secular or what private life.
Okay. In the seminary. I can understand because I passed through the seminary.
There was no contact after classes.
Okay. Yes. I see. Thank you for that. So in Sase College, you were in the 1962 batch.
Yes.
So from 1962 to you completed 1966.
Let me tell you.
Yes, please.
We started school in January 1962.
Okay.
And in 1964,
yes,
the school year was shortened by Cameroon government.
Why did they do
from
that?
January? Listen.
Okay.
Don't ask me. I cannot answer.
Okay. You know, researcher, I'm digging, but you must not answer everything.
Yes.
You know, but it is my job to dig out.
Cameroon government, we in Anglophone Cameroon,
yes,
we're starting school in January and ending in December.
Okay.
The other part of the Federal Republic of Cameroon, they used to start school in September and end in June.
Okay.
So in 1964,
yeah,
the government had to ensure that all schools in Cameroon started in September and ended in June, having about 3 months of holidays.
Okay.
So in 1964, we started school in January.
Yes.
But ended in June to have we had our final exams instead of December that year. We had in June.
Okay.
1964.
Which exam was that? Was it a GCE? Ordinary?
No, then it was still called. It was called.
Cambridge something.
Cambridge.
Exactly.
Cambridge.
Kanatumi told me about it. Cambridge was a very serious exam from written.
Very serious exam.
And you passed it.
No, listen.
Okay.
It was Cambridge.
Okay.
But when we were in Form 4 in Sase, the class ahead of us started writing the GCE.
Okay.
So some of us from Form 4 in Sase who were bright in certain subjects. I was bright in history.
Okay.
And I wrote one subject in that GCE exam and passed it in Form 4.
And that was history?
That was history, yes.
Wow.
Those of us who were bright in some subjects were given the opportunity to write single subjects when we were in Form 4.
Okay.
Then in Form 5, we now had to write the GCE in all the papers one was doing.
Okay.
Yes. At our time, I think there were only 9 papers that a student had to write. Today, here there are 11 or 12 that you can write at a time.
Exactly.
So, I wrote history in Form 4 and passed.
Wow, congratulations. And what happened after?
No, we went to Form 5.
Okay.
And we wrote the GC in Form 5. Yeah.
And you passed with flying colors. You're a very brilliant young man.
No, I don't.
That is indisputable.
I cannot say that. You know, you cannot judge yourself.
Exactly. No, I've been told by many people. You know, before coming today, I made some research. So you know, he's a very brilliant young man. He has always been brilliant. So you went to Form 5, wrote the GCE, and after that, what happened, Mr. Nkematon?
After that, when we were in Form 5, or before we even got to Form 5, those who were ahead of us, in classes ahead of us, were usually interviewed immediately they finished with their last papers in the GC. They would leave the college, go to Buya, and be interviewed. There was the Ministry of Public Service, which used to interview us and send us to the various departments.
I see.
Because before us, those who occupied most of the departmental positions were Nigerians. Yep.
I see.
Yep. So now Nigeria had to go. They had to leave Cameroon.
To return to the country.
Yes. So I remember when we were in Form 5, departmental heads came and lectured us. So I chose where I would want to work. Right from when I was still in school.
Interesting.
And I finished my last paper of the GCE on the 27th of June.
You still remember the
Why
date?
not?
Interesting. And that was the 10th of June 1966.
And on the 3rd of July 1966, I was already working in the department in Buya.
Can you imagine that?
Oh yes.
So life was so, you left school, you had a job.
There were few Cameroonians who were in Form 5. How many Form 5 were in British Cameroon at the time? How many? Yeah. You had Sate.
Yes.
You had Bale. Sacred had just opened when we were going to school. So you had Sacred Heart. Those were the 3 for boys. And you had Okoyon for girls.
Yes.
Then that same year that we finished Sega Baptist College also had their first year of school leavers.
You mentioned Seat of Wisdom. When was it founded?
Started in 1976.
So that was that
Seat
time.
of Wisdom was founded by late Father Cunningham, who was our principal in Sase.
Wow.
Yes. Father Damen was such a lenient and simple-going principal that some of the big boys in school were becoming
recalcitrant.
So they brought late Cunningham from London.
Wow.
Because he had been principal before going back to London to the Mill Hill Missionary in London. They brought him back from there. If he made an error to say, instead of saying, John, you are dismissed, he says, Thomas, you are dismissed. Thomas went.
He made a mistake.
Yeah, if he made an error
with a
to
name,
call your name instead of mine for dismissal or for whatever punishment, you did the punishment.
Did he ever do that?
Or you were dismissed.
Did he ever make such mistakes?
Who?
I mean, Father Cunningham.
No, well, during our time, no.
No. That's so interesting. So he was very strict.
Oh yes,
extremely.
To the core.
To the core.
That's to the core.
To the marrow.
He is the one who opened Seat of Wisdom for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
when we finished from Sase, he went and opened Seat of Wisdom. And that's why the discipline in Seat of Wisdom up to when the so-called Anglophone Cameroon came. He had set the standards there.
No wonder all the fruits from Seat of Wisdom are highly distinguished.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking about that. So you finished Sase, straight you started working. That's so admirable.
I finished my last paper on the 27th of June.
And on July?
And on July 3rd, I started working here. Wow. How many of us were there at the time? And British Southern Cameroons at the time needed people to take over from Nigerians who had been working in Anglophone Cameroon at the time.
Yes. Yeah. So talk to us a bit about your first job. That was the first job, right? I mean, first official job.
Yes.
Let's put it that way. In the government.
Yeah, in the government.
Exactly.
And I worked only for 20, how many days? Was it 18, not even 20?
Oh, really? Not even.
Because salaries were being paid at the time between 22nd of the month and 25th of the month.
Okay.
Yes.
So why did you work for such a short time?
Why?
What came up?
I chose to work with the cooperative department.
Okay.
In Buya.
Yes.
Reason, I never disclosed why I chose to work there.
Okay.
The cooperative inspectors,
yes, sir,
were being trained only in Nigeria at the time, in Ibadan. There was no cooperative college in Cameroon at the time.
I see.
So those who worked with the cooperative and had to be trained were sent to Nigeria.
Wow.
To Ibadan.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Ibadan, do the course for 9 months.
I see.
And instead of coming back to Cameroon immediately,
it
was my wish to continue with my degree studies
in
Nigeria. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
But we worked for the first month.
Yes.
It had not even ended.
Yes.
When the then director of cooperatives in southern Cameroon, was then being called then West Cameroon, was a man who had tribalism at the tips of his fingers instead of
oh my God,
nationalism.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So some of his country boys who wanted to work in the cooperative department came 2.5, 3 weeks after us and said, and he called us on one Friday afternoon to his office. We're only 3 who had been posted there from our batch. Called us and said he was going to re-interview us the following Tuesday because some boys from Bamenda did not know how to channel their applications to work with government. So he had to interview us with them. I am one man. No, when I see things that I don't understand, I ask.
You ask.
So I asked him whether he meant to say that the Public Service Commission that interviewed us and sent the 3 of us to the department was incompetent.
Exactly.
He hit the table, bang! I see children whose names are written in chalk in my office, questioned my authority, got up furiously, drove us out of the office. And when I entered this messenger's car, beside which those 3 boys were standing.
Wow.
He drove them down to the public service. From the then cooperative department where the West Cameroon House of Assembly used to meet. Yes. He drove them down to support where the present military hospital is now. So you can see the distance.
Can you imagine?
About 2 kilometers.
Wow.
He drove them down there. Of course, we came out and walked down. When I met the secretary of the commission and explained to him, he said, well, we that day were supposed to interview students and send the ones they recommended to the departments that they wanted.
Exactly.
And that some departmental heads took upon themselves to employ and only advise the public service. I knew that I had failed the that was going to come up on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I left from there to Kumba.
Okay. You were so disappointed with, with the whole discrimination.
I was.
Of course.
And I knew that I would not pass the interview that was going to be written on Tuesday.
That's why you just abandoned it.
Of course. I left from there to Kumba.
Very wise.
When I went to the Teachers College in Kumba.
Okay.
GTTC Kumba. It was then headed by a man from from Malta.
Oh, really? A foreigner?
A foreigner.
Okay.
A white.
Wow.
So I went that same afternoon and met him.
Okay.
Told him I wanted to do the teacher's course, which was 9 months.
I see.
To be what they used to call then grade 2 teacher. Pivotal grade 2 teachers.
Pivotal. That's interesting.
Grade 2 teachers.
Wow.
So I told him I wanted to do it.
Yes.
He called his secretary and asked who were the students that were going to be interviewed the following day.
Okay.
That following day was a Saturday.
Yeah.
The secretary told him students from Kumba division.
Okay.
He asked me where I was spending my holidays. I told him Victoria division.
Okay.
Miyuka town. And he asked him when the students of Victoria division had their own interview. He said Monday.
Okay.
The clerk told him Monday.
Okay.
So he asked me, you want to be interviewed tomorrow, Saturday, or you go and come on Monday? I told him, when I first told him I came to be interviewed.
Exactly.
He said he himself took the forms for that course to Sase.
Oh.
And I said I came from Sase. I said yes.
Okay.
He asked why I did not fill the form. I said I had lost my father back in primary school.
Okay.
And that to go to Sase, I paid my first year's fees myself. And I was struggling and helping people who gave me money so that at the beginning of the other terms, the first term of the school year, I would have money to pay my fees.
Wow.
I said, yes, okay. Come tomorrow. Since you say if you go, you may not have money to come back on Monday. I said, yes.
Very understanding man.
Yes, very understanding man.
Okay.
So I went and stayed with one of my relatives in Kumba. The following Saturday morning, I was there. The first 5 children went for the interview and they told them to go and wait for the results.
Okay.
I was the 6th to go because the others were beginning to
agitate,
to throw themselves backwards. I was the 6th person to go for the interview. I was admitted and the principal called the secretary
that same day.
That same time.
Wow.
To take me to the office and give me the forms to fill and so on. So the other students knew that it wasn't going to be easy. Well, I went and filled the forms.
That was good news.
And left.
Wow.
School started, we came in. We're not many of us in our class.
Can you remember the number?
We're less than 20.
Wow.
That's from secondary schools.
Can you imagine?
Yes, we're less than 20 then.
I see.
And we came, we're being fed by the school, we're lodged by the school.
Okay.
We're being fed by the school. And at the end of every term, they used to give us allowances.
Wow.
To go home with.
Okay.
And of course, my first appointment was for Tico.
Wow. As a teacher?
As a teacher.
Interesting.
Why for Tico? I cannot explain. I don't want to.
Okay.
Yes, it was for Tico.
So the training was 9 months?
9 months, yes.
Wow.
So I started working Tico.
That started working 1960.
67.
67 in Tico.
Yeah.
And how did it go as a teacher?
I started work in September when schools used to open then.
Yes.
And at the end of the first month, you know the salary was paid?
No. How much was it?
18,000 francs.
Wow.
That was big money.
Then,
Wonderful.
tell me what he could do. He could pay your rent.
No, let me tell you something. Listen, we who did the pivotal grade 2 course, that's from secondary schools,
Yes.
were placed on 18,000 francs by the Catholic mission.
Okay.
Those who did the ordinary grade 2 course
Yes.
were placed on 14,000 and passed were placed on 14,000 francs. Those who did the ordinary grade 2 course but failed were placed on 8,500.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you had the highest, 18,000.
Yeah, we passed. So I was on 18. That was big money.
Wow.
Because degree holders,
Yes, sir.
their start at the time I think was 30-something thousands.
Okay.
And that was 30-something thousands. Wonderful. So I taught for a few years.
Okay.
And while still in Sase,
Yes.
I had wanted to work with the bank because I was good in mathematics, very good in mathematics.
Okay.
And I thought I could work with the bank and make it career.
It means, talking about mathematics, did you ever know Father Etienne Kumba?
He was 3 years behind me
Okay.
in Sase.
Okay.
Why the question?
Well, because you talked about mathematics, and I remember an anecdote that was told to me by John Asongani,
Yes.
who came to this country thanks to mathematics.
Yes.
He too went to Sase.
Okay.
So when you talk about maths, that anecdote came to my mind.
mathematics.
Okay, so you were an expert in mathematics.
Oh my word. So I taught for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And left and joined the bank.
So when did you join the bank? 19.
Is that necessary?
I just want to have a chronological. So 1967, you started teaching.
Yes.
You taught for about 1-2 years.
For 2 years.
Good.
And
So
a
that's
few months.
1969.
For 2 years and a few
Months.
months.
Okay. So
I joined Cameroon Bank.
Okay. So how
And
did
I
you
was
join? Was
posted.
it easy to join?
They interviewed us.
Okay, and you passed.
Well, yes.
Congratulations.
I would not have wrote
Exactly. Congratulations. So from
And
1970.
then Cameroon Bank, the general manager of Cameroon Bank was a German.
Wow.
Oh yes.
Very strict people.
Of course.
And very hardworking.
Hardworking, strict.
Wow.
So I worked with Cameroon Bank.
That's so interesting. Your life is
And,
so.
progressed.
Yeah. You really progressed from a teacher now to a banker. And what happened after? So 1970, you were working in a bank in?
I didn't open a bank.
No, you were working in a bank.
Yes, I
Okay.
worked in the head office of Cameroon Bank.
Oh, where was that found, if I may ask?
In Victoria at the time. Cameroon Bank
Victoria.
was a West Cameroon Bank.
Interesting.
Yes.
So from 1970, you worked in Victoria until
1975, December 1975,
okay.
when I was on leave and was moved from Victoria head office
to
Bansop as assistant manager,
okay.
and the rest forget.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from there you
From there, I
yes.
worked in Bansop for 7 years
Interesting.
and was moved to Bamenda.
Okay.
But while in Bamenda, I worked on it for a year because I saw people I helped in Bansop,
Yes.
gave them loans and credit facilities. Before I was moved to Bamenda, they could employ me.
Can you imagine?
Yes, from business that they were doing, they could employ me.
Wow.
So when I worked for 1 year in Bamenda, I decided to go private.